On this edition of Titans All Access, Jim Wyatt takes over the Nissan Insider for a conversation with defensive back Logan Ryan. Amy Wells visits a California high school that produces NFL player after NFL player. Titans Radio's Dave McGinnis goes beneath the surface to show us excellent Titans run defense. And General Manager John Robinson previews Tennessee's upcoming trip to Atlanta as Titans All Access starts now.
He is tagged! A.J. Brown! Yes! Touchdown! Titans! Intercepted Myers. One-hand catch at the 15. What a catch! He's in trouble. He's sacked! Taken down by Wesley Woodyard. Throws in the end zone. Man is there. Touchdown! Titans! Touchdown! An extra period, but the Titans get it done again. Throw your hands up in the sky.
Welcome to another edition of Titans All Access with Amy Wells. I'm Mike Keith. We're glad to have you with us. I'm a little confused. I'm looking at the teleprompter, and on the rundown it says the Nissan Insider, which is our one-on-one interview, is being done by Jim Wyatt.
Yeah. That's right.
But I've done them every show for 16 years.
Yeah, Mike, we're moving on, and we're going to bring in Jim Wyatt to do it. People love Wyatt's World.
Well,
so
they do.
Yeah, so we figured that we would have Jim Wyatt come in and talk to one of the most interesting defensive backs in the league, Logan Ryan.
Moving on?
Seems like it makes sense to me.
Sack! Oh, that's Logan Ryan! Picked off at the 49-yard line by Logan Ryan. And Logan Ryan says, no, that will not happen today. Intercepted. Logan Ryan at the 40. And the Titans with the takeaway. Brady in trouble, stepping up. Sack! Intercepted. Picked off. Logan Ryan. Logan Ryan, the former Patriot. Who gets him? Logan Ryan.
Before we talk football, I want to talk to you a little bit about some off-the-field stuff. I know you and Ashley founded the Ryan Animal Rescue Foundation, done a whole bunch for this community for animals, especially dogs. How did that come about, and how proud are you that the city has embraced you and your wife like they have?
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't love animals, right? I grew up having pets. My wife did, and early in my NFL career, she decided to dedicate her life to animal rescue. She's worked in animal shelters, she's volunteered, and she literally was sweeping up kennels for minimum wage because of the love of it. I wanted to get those dogs adopted, I wanted to get those cats adopted, I wanted to pay for those spay and neuters, and I wanted to challenge everybody else to do more for these animals too.
And you kind of kidded your teammates to kind of come to you to kind of solve some problems. Is that true?
Yeah, like I think Marcus quoted it, I'm the dog whisperer. They come to me about dogs that they want to get, questions they may have, potty training, why is my dog chewing the couch? So I just kind of, tell them positive reinforcement, no yelling and hitting your animals, just all positive reinforcement.
And as far as your own education goes, I know you came out for the draft. You had not graduated at that time. You promised your parents you would go back, and then you end up walking, the following year. Why was that important to you, and what was that like as a guy who's now in the NFL league, now walking at graduation?
Well, my parents raised me to be a man of my word, and when I committed to University of Rutgers, they started off 0-3 that season. I remember my senior year of high school, and they were 0-3, and a lot of people were decommitting. And, I talked to my dad, like, oh, do you think I should visit other schools? And he said, no, you committed to Rutgers. You're going to commit to Rutgers. One day you're going to commit to a wife. You're going to stay committed to your wife. So that's just something I believe in. I told my parents I was going to graduate college, and I was fortunate to be a good college football player to leave as a junior. And I chased the dream of being in the NFL, which came true, and I wasn't going to turn down that opportunity. But I went right back to finish my last semester right after my rookie year with the Patriots. And it was what I was supposed to do, honestly. Graduating college was on my list, and that's what I went and did.
Now in your third season with the Titans, after playing 4 years in New England, you got a couple of Super Bowl rings. I know I've seen them, they're impressive. I mean, how much did that time in New England shape you, and how much do you feel like there's maybe a winning mentality brewing here in Tennessee?
New England shaped me a ton just because I was coached hard each and every day. If you want to be successful in life, I feel like you have to stay in the now. You have to learn from your mistakes, and New England's going to help you learn from that. And Vrabel is very much the same way. And the way we are here, it doesn't matter what anyone did last season. It's a true testament to that. We need to get ready to build for this season, and I need to become a better corner each and every day, not only for myself, for my family, but for the Tennessee Titans. And the better I can be and be honest and critique my own game, you know, the better it'll be for the team. And I think when you build a locker room of guys that hold themselves accountable, and when you hold yourself to a high standard, you're able to hold other people around you to a high standard, because I can demand more if I'm giving more. And that's something that I learned in New England. That's something that we have here and continue to grow here. I'm just trying to be the best player that I can be to help the team win.
How you like the culture that is here in Tennessee?
I absolutely love being a Titan. I love the culture. I love the guys. We talked about the offseason, how we competed in the offseason, how Jarrell, Casey had events, Kevin Byard had a camp, Ben Jones had something, Marcus had something. Every week it seems like I'm going to a teammate and a friend's charity event. We're going to dinner with each other's wives, and I don't think, you know, it was like that in the past, and I think we really liked playing with each other. We had some years playing together, and I think those would translate to the amount of sacrifice that it takes on the field as a team to win. I think it's the ultimate sacrificial game, and I think you need to have an ultimate sacrificial team to be good at it.
Well, that was just a darn good one-on-one. I liked it.
I mean, it's not as good as what we usually have, but it was okay.
No, I thought it was really good. And Mike, you look so rested now. Look at that.
When Titans All Access continues, Amy Wells goes to California.
Yep.
Adding to my misery. Another trip for Amy Wells, but a great story. Stay with us. California?
So refreshed. So refreshed.
To say that Amy Wells gets to take all the great trips would be an understatement.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when she picked a Titan to go visit their high school, she picked Jayon Brown because she wanted to go to basically California and spend time in California.
I don't regret that choice, but I will say that Jayon Brown went to a famous high school, and it's famous because of all of the NFL talent that it has produced.
Okay, well, that seems fair. Let's take a look at Amy's trip to see where number 55 matriculated.
Every offseason, come back down to Long Beach about once every 2 weeks to kick it with the family, play with the dogs. I feel like I can come back home and it feels somewhat like I'm on the right path. When I was doing combine training at UCLA, and whenever I go back to campus at UCLA, I felt like before draft day, I felt like I couldn't go back until I achieved something, and I was getting drafted onto the team. In Jack Rabbit Lane, here we go. Best high school in the world right here. Feels good to come back. Best football memory here, I'm gonna say my senior year when we started off like, I think 1-3. And I was like, damn, all my older brothers got rings out of poly. And I'm like, I didn't have any. He got 2, my older brother got 1. And I'm like, damn, I'm not about to get a ring. Like 1-3 is not looking good. And we ended up turning the season around, ended up winning like 9 straight, beating top ranked teams in the country, went all the way to CIF and won a championship. So that was unbelievable. Let's walk around the campus some more. Oh, yeah, this was good times. Coming out here is for sure like, this is like my vacation spot. Like being in Nashville, it's all like work for me, but being able to come back to California and spend time with my family, it gets my mind off of football, well, off of work in a way, but I enjoy it.
All right, I'm glad I approved you to take that trip to California. Long Beach Poly producing Titans and other players. So that's a good story. So you got to go to California. Good for you.
Thank you. It was a really fun story, and Jayon Brown really showed us the high points of his hometown.
You know who loves Jayon Brown?
Who?
Coach Dave McGinnis of
true.
Titans Radio. And he's next on Titans All Access as we go beneath the surface with Coach Mack. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to Titans All Access, where Mike Keith continues to only do part of his job. So, Mike, why don't you give us a fact, a little nugget about this week's game?
You mean because I didn't get to do the Nissan Insider?
Get to, want to.
All right.
Whatever.
I do have a good fact, though. It's about Delanie Walker. With his next catch, Delanie Walker will have 500 catches in his career. That will make him the 16th tight end in NFL history with 500 or more catches. That's an incredible group of guys in that list, no doubt. It's even more incredible about Delanie Walker because over 3/4 of his career grabs have come after the age of 29. So on that next one, give Delanie Walker a little shout as he joins an impressive group, and if he keeps up the Delanie Walker pace, which is about 5 catches a game, that's what he's done through his Titans career, he'll move into the top 10 among all-time tight end receptions in his career. So way to go, number 82.
That's a pretty good nugget.
How about that?
That was good.
All right, so I've made up for...
A little bit.
All right. Let me make up for something else. I'm going to bring my partner Dave McGinnis on the show from Titans Radio to go beneath the surface and show you what good Titans run defense looks like. There was a good bit of it in the last contest.
This is Coach Mack, game day color analyst for Titans Radio. Today we will go beneath the surface to look at excellent run defense by the Tennessee Titans. It's 1st and 10. The ball's on the 23-yard line. We're 8:28 into the first quarter. Score is Jacksonville 7, Tennessee 0. Gardner Minshew, the rookie quarterback, comes up under center. What he's looking at initially to this side, he's looking at the run strength of the defense. The run strength of the defense is where the 3 technique, the outside backer that's head up on the tight end, and plus the linebacker that is moving up to the outside, that is the run defensive strength. What Dean Pease is trying to do in this bogey, where he is moving his players around, is trying to get the young quarterback to check away from the strength of the run defense. But Dean has designed a blitz coming off the open side of the offense. Here's the open side over here on this side. Harold Landry does a nice job right prior to snap of stunning inside between the tackle and the guard. Logan Ryan does a tremendous job of holding his look, disguising it over the slot, and then once the ball is snapped, going right into where the young quarterback has checked. It's a great job by Dean Pease's defense and by the defensive players of showing one look to a run strength, getting a young quarterback to check to the open side, and then running a stunt into where he checks. Continuing on with the Titans' excellent run defense, what we are looking at now, this is 12 personnel by the Jacksonville offense. They've got their 2 tight ends set to the defensive left. This is the definite run strength. The back is 7 yards deep. The 2 linebackers behind the ball are reading the center guard triangle. They are reading this area right here, the center and both guards. Once you see a guard pull across the center, both of these linebackers are going to take 1 counter step and then mirror the guard and still be able to keep their leverage on the outside of the run play. Excellent job of eye reads. Now they're completely in phase. Kevin Byard does a tremendous job of holding his leverage. By keeping outside leverage, then he allows the leverage defense and the pursuit to take care of the back. Causes him to go backwards. Even if he would have cut back, you can look and see the tremendous leverage pursuit by the Titans run defense. Again, another great example of team defense, run fits, eye discipline that are all extremely, extremely important in successful run defense in the National Football League.
Later in Titans All Access, meet Darius Jennings, one of the smallest Titans with one of the biggest hearts. Plus, the Titans defense tries to take over the Music City Food and Wine Festival. But immediately ahead, General Manager John Robinson lays out the challenges presented by the Falcons and what the Titans need to do to win in Atlanta. JR is next on Titans All Access.
Titans All Access continues. Our visit with General Manager John Robinson, largely focused on this week's opponent, who we only see every 4 years, the Atlanta Falcons. And when you talk about the Falcons, you must start with their quarterback, Matt Ryan, and his all-everything receiver, Julio Jones, together for 9 years, which is a great advantage to why they do so well together, right?
Yeah, both are excellent players. As you said, they've been playing together almost a decade. So the chemistry is there. They trust each other of where they're going to be on every play. And they're just two dynamic players at their given positions.
Dirk Cutter is the offensive coordinator in Atlanta. Things that stand out to you about a Dirk Cutter offense?
Well, he's multiple. He's going to try to attack you in the run game really at every level, inside zone, outside zone. He'll sprinkle some power in there, some wham plays. And then it's the same thing in the passing game. The screen game, the short to intermediate passing game, as well as pushing the ball downfield.
All right, so you've hit Dirk Cutter, you've hit Julio Jones and Matt Ryan. A lot of other weapons for the Falcons too. Keys for the Titans defense going against an offense that's so multiple and so multi-talented.
Yeah, they've got a lot of players over there, and they got a good scheme that they run with them. Then on that offensive line, it's a formidable O-line. Freeman's a great back. He's a really good runner. He's good out of the backfield. Hooper, this tight end, has been a reliable target for Matt to throw the ball to. And then their receivers. It starts with Julio, but they've got Sanu, they've got Ridley, they've got Hardy. They've got guys that can get open and catch. So, we've got to do a really good job of standing up to that line and getting some pressure on them.
Falcons head coach is Dan Quinn. Now the Falcons defensive coordinator is Dan Quinn. What's a Dan Quinn defense like?
Well, they're an attack defense. They move a lot up front. It all starts with Grady Jarrett. He's a problem up there at 3 technique. They move him around. He's a very disruptive player. They've got a lot of speed in that front seven, especially with Deion Jones, Campbell, Beasley. Those guys can really run and get to the football. And then the secondary. Trufant's a playmaker. He's played in this league a long time. He's got really good instincts, really good ball skills. Allen's good at free safety. The second-year player at Oliver has got really good size and cover skills. So they've got a lot of players on that side of the ball as well.
Where does the Titans offense need to improve the most in order to have success this weekend in Atlanta?
Well, I think we got to get back to the way we played in the Cleveland game. In that game it wasn't perfect, but there was only 1 or 2 plays that you really wish you had back. And I don't think that was the case in the Jacksonville and the Indy game. I think there was more plays than that we really needed to make. We've got to get back to making plays. We've got to move the ball down the field. We've got to protect up front. We've got to give Marcus a pocket to throw from. We've got to establish the run game, and then we've got to get open and catch a receiver.
All right, the only goal is to get back to Nashville 2-2, win this ball game. How do the Titans do it? How do you beat the Falcons?
Yeah, we've got to find a way to score more points than they do, and that starts, like I said, with establishing the run game. We've got to protect. We've got to keep those guys off of Marcus, give him time to throw, give the receivers time to get open, move the ball down offensively, get in the red zone and score points, touchdowns. If field goals are great, we want touchdowns. And then defensively, we've got to get some pressure on Matt. We've got to tackle this back, and we've got to be really disciplined with our coverage in our secondary.
John Robinson, thank you.
Thank you.
Our visit with the general manager every week on Titans All Access. When we come back, Amy Wells rejoins, and it's time for good news and good nights. Stay tuned.
On the next Titans All Access, he's one of the best defensive linemen in the game, and he takes us inside the game.
Show up and show out. Let's do it. Dominate on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Showing why playing in the trenches is among the most difficult jobs in sports. A very special Nissan Insider with 4-time Pro Bowler Jarrell Casey on the next Titans All Access.
Welcome to Nashville moment. Probably just my first time actually seeing Broadway. I can't say I'm the greatest country music fan, but just going out there and just seeing the streets flooded, hearing the music, at different spots, like, oh yeah, like you can definitely see why this is a music city. I definitely had people rolling in from all over the country wanting to come visit. Growing up, I played for the Garnville Gators. Over the years, the team kind of went under. A guy who I actually played with, John Perry, he had kind of brought it back, and now they're the Titans. I try to support when I can. When I'm home, I go up there, help coach the kids, talk to them, try to help them out with getting equipment and stuff like that. It is kind of cool to kind of see it come full circle. Like I was saying, I had 35 offers coming out of high school, All-American, Player of the Year in Maryland. I went to Virginia, battled some adversity. My career didn't pan out how I wanted to, so coming to the league, draft day, didn't hear my name called. No teams called me afterwards, to sign as a free agent. A guy who knew me from high school was a scout in Cleveland. Said, look, you can come in as a tryout. There were about 50 of us trying out. They signed 8 of us. Since day one, since I started playing football, I said, look, I'm going to the league and you're not stopping me. I was willing to do whatever I had to do, just to kind of get to this point. Teams were kind of unsure how I would do just because that was my first time making the team out of camp. So just kind of do that week 1. I said, look, I told you I belong here. It was kind of good for me and for everyone else to see. We got a great group of guys. We come in excited to work every day. Everyone here gets along, you know, from the top guy to the guys on P Squad. We can all joke, laugh, you know, just be one unit, you know, and I really think that they'll translate over to the football field.
I really like the Behind the Flames. That Darius Jennings story is fantastic.
He is such an interesting guy. It was really fun to have a chance to sit down and hear his story.
And the good news of what he's doing in his community to keep Pee Wee football going, that's good stuff. How about some more good news, this time from defense? Let's go to the Nashville Food and Wine Festival last week. We got Kathy Lee Gifford.
So cool.
Isn't
Love
that
Kathy
great?
Lee.
And we got Titans defenders there all over the place, guys from the defense. In particular, look, it's Titans defensive backs, Logan Ryan and Kevin Byard, competing and doing something good at what is a great community event.
Absolutely. When you combine food and football, you can't go wrong.
And wine and Kathy Lee.
And wine and Kathy Lee. I mean, I wasn't going to go that far, but yeah.
Hope Kathy Lee's a Titans fan now.
Whoop, whoop. Come
Gotta
on,
be.
Kathy Lee. There's room for you on the bus.
We'll remind you that Amy Wells, Coach Dave McGinnis, Jonathan Hutton, Rhett Bryan, and I join you this Sunday from Atlanta at 11 a.m. Central Time for the Titans and the Falcons. Kickoff is set for noon Central Time from Mercedes-Benz Stadium. We hope you'll join us on your local Titans radio station. For Amy Wells, I'm Mike Keith. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.